Hello, everyone, and welcome to Studio 44. Today is the day, probably not you guys have been waiting for, but I've been waiting for. We have every team done in the RDL. We have all the franchises made, we have all the players made, and we have a bunch of the stadiums made, if not all of them, but I need your help reminding me where all those stadiums are. So, if you could, if you made a stadium for the RDL in the comments or in this chat, preferably in the comments, or even better yet, in the Google form that I've linked to the description of this video, let me know what stadium you made and what team you made it for. I did want to go through all the teams. As you can see, I have the franchise up just to kind of show you all the teams. We can break them down really, really quick. Hopefully, I won't babble on like I did in the other videos. And then we're going to get into remixing a stadium that Dan created, Sandman Dan, and that I did a remix of, but unfortunately it had an anomaly. So we want to get rid of that anomaly. So let's get into looking at some stadiums. I'm later than I said I was going to be, but it's probably a little bit better because folks on the East Coast may be coming home from work, and maybe central U.S. and western part of the country are still at work, and you can have this on as background noise or whatever. But yeah, we're going to do this either way. I do have a video recorded of new stadiums. It's 15 or 16 or so. It's got a cool little game in the middle of the video. Well, as part of the video, I guess I should say. But yes, one of my notification sounds is Mario collecting a mushroom. Let's turn that down. I started a little bit later than I wanted to because I wanted to make sure everything was taken care of. I got dinner ready. All we got to do is pop it in the microwave when the wife comes home. I got the dog fed, gave his insulin and everything so we don't get interrupted and we can just go. One of the main reasons I want to do this live is because we're going to go live again on Friday. Me and Mark are going to officially start the league. Whether that means looking at your stadiums that you submitted or playing the first games, I don't know, but that's going to be in the new Respect the Pick studio, which used to be Studio 44. So we've kind of gone up and down, even though Respect the Pick Studios is behind me now. But yeah, here we go. I said I wasn't going to babble, and here I am babbling. So one of the reasons I want to do this live is because if I recorded it and edited it, I would spend way too much time editing it and going into it when I already have a video I have to edit. So this kind of forces me to just skip the editing process, and you guys can skim through where you want to skim. But yeah, here they all are, the teams of the RDL. This is the Los Angeles the Las Vegas Gamblers, my team. Wearing kind of a mock-up of their away jerseys. I couldn't get the font exactly, on the picture, but I thought it was fun. I think I'm wearing Stewart 44, right? I don't even know if you can see it. But yeah, their uniforms, these are their home. I don't know if I'll ever get a home uniform because I don't know if you're going to be able to find a shirt that has the sleeves and shoulders like that. But I like the black, but not too black. The last one I did the blue sleeves because I loved the Braves uniforms when they did those retro uniforms of, the Hank Aaron era with the blue and the shoulders and the blue sleeves. And then Ronald Acuna wears all that yellow arm gear and his batting gloves. I just thought it always looked cool. So I wanted to try that, but I didn't like a blue helmet. So I always liked, I want to say late 90s, maybe early 2000s, the Kansas City Royals used to do a black shirt with blue, royal blue. So I kind of stole that color scheme. So that's the home. This is the away. Again, I'm trying to do the same thing. I put the LV. I didn't want to do the chip because it, more detail on the shirt, the more expensive it was going to be. And then on the back, the blue and the white. Minneapolis Sky Sox. Again, I've talked about this before. We did Sky Sox because they have these sky walks. They don't want people to walk in the cold of Minneapolis in the middle of the winter or when it gets too hot. So they connected a bunch of the big city buildings downtown with these skywalks. So I found Sky Sox in the audio. So I kind of put those together, and that's why Minneapolis Sky Sox. That's a home. That's away. Kind of going with a baby blue, but with a darker blue top. This is a team I've seen the most. I've played, testing so far, and I've liked how they turned out. San Antonio Defenders. This was a team that was on the chopping block, but I decided to keep them just because I had all their logos saved and I knew where they were and I could just plug them in real quick. This was once a color scheme maybe for the gamblers because it was going to be red, black, and gold for Las Vegas, like the cards, a deck of cards, and I'll use that color scheme later. But I figured it fit with San Antonio, so I found that SA, I found those guns, I blended them together. There's their away uniforms. I don't do many with just the black shoulder tops and not black sleeves too, but yeah, that's the Defenders. Murph Murph made an awesome dome-type stadium for them. Dallas Butchers are fairly new. I had the Dallas Drillers, and I wasn't in love with them. I didn't like the logo. I didn't like the color scheme I had. It was just black and gold, because they called oil black gold. So I looked up some other things about Dallas, and it says they do really good barbecue. So I came up with a Butcher idea. I found the cleaver in there. Butcher is an audio. So I put the D together and put the Butcher thing in the middle, so it's chopping the Butcher in half. And I like this, since I created them. I got a kick out of these guys. And then there's Dallas. Again, same idea, chopping Dallas in half with the Butcher, with the cleavage, or cleavage. I almost said cleavage. With the meat cleaver. I probably did say cleavage in the other one, did I? I don't know. I guess I'll find out later. Charlotte Spiders. This is another team that I really like. This team, we had the Charlotte Mudcats. I think it's like a fish, but apparently they're a real minor league team someplace, and we're trying to avoid that stuff, even though I know that I have fonts and writing that is clearly from another sport or another division or another, like a women's league or something. But someone did that Spiders. It was in the vault, and then there's a spider that I flipped upside down and put them underneath Spiders. And someone I was Googling things about Charlotte and possible nicknames for a Charlotte team, and someone mentioned Spiders because of Charlotte's Web. So I was like, all right, I like the Spiders. Spiders is an audio option in the name, so I went with it. Yeah, that's a big thing for me. I hate naming teams where they don't have an audio because there's no option for no audio. Like they're like a name. Like if you have a weird or uncommon last name, you have the option of no audio for the name if you create a player or if you edit a player, right? They don't have that for franchises. There's no audio option. So I did my best to name everybody after, a team name that is in the audio options. Now, if they have no option, eventually no audio option, I might change my name to the Rounders. I think it's a little cooler sounding than the Gamblers, because Rounders is a term for people who make a living playing poker, and y'all know I love my poker. Whoops, I got to show their away uniforms. When I first introduced all these teams, I said it was rare that we had all gray uniforms, but it turns out we have quite a few. So here's another one of them that has gray tops. Again, I love the color scheme. I love the Charlotte and that font. Charlotte. We have a town called Charlotte in Rochester. But again, I put the spider up there, this time on top. Someone else made the spider. I do not have that talent in the logo creator. Again, I'm going to say it. I hate that you have to start an entire franchise just to create a franchise. I don't know. Can you make a Diamond Dynasty team and save it? I don't know if that's a thing, but they need to make it its own thing. Franchise creator, go in, pick your logos, pick your fonts, all that stuff, create the team, and then upload it to a vault. They should have their own vault. This would be fantastic to save time for the RDL every year because we have to make 30 whole teams. Michigan Wolves. I love their color scheme. I don't know why I picked this color scheme for the Wolves. Kind of lazy just because we're getting towards the end of, making teams and we get tired of, trying to think of ideas for teams and stuff. So we just went with Wolves. I found that wolf in the vault. I picked that color scheme. I don't know why, but I love it. You don't want too much of it, though. It's more of a highlight than anything else. And darn it, once again, I forgot to show their away uniforms. So we're going to start Friday. This is Wednesday. This video will obviously be live on YouTube or available to watch on YouTube for the next couple days. If you have a stadium that you've already created that may fit one of these teams, by all means, send it our way. I'm going to pitch an idea to Mark of maybe saying, hey, screw it. Why can't we play the first game of a Hawaii series in the stadium that I made, and then the next one in Dan's, or that's the one Dan made, is the one I tinkered with, or the next one in Carmen's dad, or the next one in Murph's, or the next one, because all these guys made Hawaii stadiums. So, why not? Who cares, right? I want to get you guys more involved because I think it could be really fun. After the Michigan Wolves, we have the Florida Lightning. Now, this is a team that I wasn't crazy about at first. Mark loved this team. He found a cool logo, and he made a logo, but he didn't upload it back then. We didn't really get it, when we first created these teams that, you could save the logos for later. It took up, a couple weeks or maybe even months to realize that, hey, we could have saved these logos. So I had to keep finding new stuff in the vault. I found that lightning. I found that lightning bolt, which I think is the Gatorade logo. but excuse me, but it works, right? And I found this cool, let me see if I can get rid of all the F's. I found that cool, I don't even know what you call it, like a lightning star almost. But I loved it, so I found a way to incorporate that into the new logo. So I just put the F behind that. Why can't I? Oh shit, I didn't paste. That's why I can't. Or I didn't copy. Copy, paste. There we go. But yeah, I ended up finding that lightning star, and I loved it, so I put it in on their hats and their away uniforms. Mark likes the baby blue. I hate the baby blue. Stadium Center. Sewell, what's going on, man? You're my first guy to say hello. Just introducing the Ricky Davis League teams real quick. Now, okay, now here's another thing that drives me crazy about this tool. I'm looking on my TV and the colors, I guess I notice a difference, but looking on my computer monitor, I definitely see a difference in the color of the shirt and the pants. Now, what the hell is up with... Ooh, I got to change the buttons, too. Those buttons should definitely be dark blue, right? But what is up with... Yeah, see, if I change them again. This happens sometimes. If you go back into a team that you created, the colors change without you doing anything to make that happen. And it drives me absolutely insane. So what I tried to do is I tried to find a color that is from a real team. Just got back golfing. Did I miss a premiere? No, this... I have a video recorded, and I'm going to edit that one hopefully soon. Today I was going to go live. Maybe I'll edit a little bit tonight, and then tomorrow is Deadpool. We're going to see Deadpool and Wolverine at the preview showings. So I don't know, probably Saturday, Sunday. And then Friday, we're going to be live again because we're going to do some Ricky Davis League, starting the Ricky Davis Leagues. Sewell, could you do me a favor, man? Could you please send me a list of all the stadiums you made for the RDL? I know it was so long ago, but I wanted to give people another chance at it because, I mean, I've like doubled my viewers or my subs since like October. So I wanted to give, new folks. I've had a lot of people who submit stadiums more regularly. So I want to give them a chance to get in there and maybe create one. Here's the Memphis Rockers. Murph gave us the idea to change Memphis Sounds to the Rockers just because I think there's one existed. I should have kept the Memphis the same, but I found that Rockers and I fell in love with it, especially the idea of the single record be the O. So I kept that. I don't think I remember being away. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that. I tried to get Mark to take a look at it and see if he could do something with it, but he hasn't taken the time yet. So there's the Memphis Rockers. Murph gave me the idea. He built a beautiful freaking stadium for this, which will probably go through Friday. If I can't get a list from people, I'll just have to, I'll go through it myself. And that's fine. I get it. People are busy. It's summer. I don't think people want to drop their camping plans or their barbecue plans. Say, oh, shit, Phil needs his teams. Let's go. San Diego Diablos, another team I'm not crazy about just because most of the Diablo logos are from a real team someplace else, whether it's a minor league team or whatever. I found that logo. I Googled Diablo logos and never found a Diablo that looked like that. So I took that one. I borrowed that one. Mark's wife picked the color scheme and the name of this team and everything. Why San Diego is linked with the devil and hell, I don't know. But I created a stadium for these guys when I saw a stadium on Harrison Sawyer's channel. Murph! I was just talking about you, buddy. We talked about the Memphis Rockers. I just showed the uniforms and talked about how the stadium you built for the Memphis Rockers is freaking fantastic. So, but yeah, Mark's wife came up with the color scheme for this. Why they are devil-related, I don't know. I thought about changing them to the Phoenix or the San Diego Suns because I saw Suns logos and it looked pretty cool, but that's what I came up with. And then away, I just threw this together because I got lazy again. Whoops, what am I doing? Uniforms, away. Yeah, see, that's what San Diego looks like in that weird font. But this is the color scheme they picked out. I like the black with that red and gold or yellow or whatever you want to call it. But I got lazy and bored and just put the San Diego in there. Again, I'm going to try to get Mark to take a look at that and see if he can come up with anything to fix it up a little bit nicer, especially since his wife came up with the team. Dublin Vipers, this is Mark's son. He does respect the pick with us, Jaden. How he picked red and green for this, I have no idea because he's famously red and green colorblind. Another stadium, Murph created another team, Murph created an awesome stadium for. Away, boom. Gray unis, green sleeves. Not my favorite team in the league. I talked about axing them. But again, Mark's sentimental with his kids, and I get it because they were younger when they made these guys. I mean, we made this 4 years ago? This is the first year that you could rebrand. Next team. San Jose Wizards, high-profile team. I think the first high-profile team we've talked about. This is one of the better teams. We always make the entire starting team, the entire starting rotation, their closer, and a couple of relievers. And then the bench are all other guys. Again, Mark made this team. I don't know what the connection is between the Wizards and San Jose, if there is any. But I think he found that logo, and I may have changed it a little bit. I definitely changed the Wizards. I can't remember what I didn't like about it, but that's what I came up with for the Wizards. One of those gray teams. One of the high-profile teams, Murph, introduced the chain window glitch to me with his stadium for that he made for this, and he submitted it for the challenge, the Stadium of the Year challenge. Sitka Grizzlies, here they are. This is Mark's team. He picked this color scheme. I think he said he made that Sitka logo. I like it personally. I think it should be a little bit bigger, but again, it's his team, so I don't know about the mountain, if he found that or if he made that or what, but I like the color scheme. I like that bluish green. I would assume it's some kind of blue. Boo, joke. Are you booing because it's Mark's team? Uniforms away. He almost went with the all blue. I think he wanted to do it simpler because we both agree that the Yankees got rid of their outline on New York, and we think it looks fantastic. Personally, also, I would move the Alaska down. I made a version of his team that I kept for a while to let him look at it, see if he liked anything about it, but I got impatient and had to finish the rest of the team, so he didn't get to see it. But, I mean, I've said it before. I end up doing all the work. We need to get a what, Murph? I can't see because the stupid heart's in the way. We need to get a life? Is that what you said? Oh, that Murph guy needs to get a life. Oh, okay. Dude, Murph, you know how fewer stadiums I would have if you didn't make all them for me? Let's see. You saw the away. Who's next? Hollywood Superstars, the other high-profile team. We did a lot of revamping on this, or at least I did a lot of revamping on this. There's a great Hollywood Stars logo out there where the H is kind of turned into the star, or the H is incorporated into the star that we used to use. But, again, it's from a real team. Frankie! Big Mac, hello. We're just going through the Ricky Davis League teams real fast. And then we're going to, I stole a page out of Sewell's book. I'm going to work on the anomaly of that Hawaiian Stadium that Dan made. But here's the Hollywood Star, one of the other big profile teams. Tony Johnson, the catcher. Guillermo Vasquez. Adam Cullen. Victor Cortez. Sean Warner. Brody McGregor. All those guys on this team, one of the better teams. Mark made these uniforms first way back, so I tried to recreate them the way they looked outside of the main logo. I found that H, I added the star in the background, and that turned out like that. I keep doing that, and it's driving me crazy. The away, the gold top, I found that Hollywood shaped like the Hollywood sign in there, and I put that in there. I thought he used to have a black shirt back, but I'm not sure. Don't know how long I'll be able to be here. I'm in northern Wisconsin, and the internet is really bad. Hey, that's all right. We're glad to have you. Making a TV show about stadiums, lame. Frankie, it's always good to see you. Sewell, Murph, Big Mac. Glad to have you guys. I did create a new video that's going to be a while before it premieres. Hopefully Saturday or Sunday. We're trying to get this Ricky Davis League finally started. Who's up next? Tokyo Monsters. Mark created this team. He found that Godzilla in the circle. Isn't like the red sun a big thing for Japan? I'm not sure. I think that's what that's for. I don't know why he went with the red, black, green color scheme, but I think it looks pretty good. There I go, doing it again. And then there's the away uniforms. I think I changed that. I think I found a different Tokyo. I like that. I don't know what that Japanese writing is under the O, but I think it looks pretty cool, so I'm going with it. Oh, that's right, Murph. If you missed it, I got a bunch of, chatters here, obviously, now, people in the live chat. So if you missed it, I'm thinking about saying screw the contest. Why play in one stadium when we can play in all those stadiums that people created? Steve, I'm glad you like the RDL content, buddy. More's coming. We're thinking about making a channel. We're going to see how popular it gets and go from there. But we're thinking about making an RDL-based channel and pulling some of you guys over and maybe make stadiums for us, keep making stadiums for us or whatever. Eventually, what I would love to do is I would love to get an online version of the RDL where we can have you guys play with us and against us and make trades with you and all that stuff. I think it would be so badass. But if you have fictional players, I know Frankie sent me a couple. I think Ray, who made a team for me, sent a couple too. After Tokyo, we have the New England Rebels. I think that kind of speaks for itself. The Boston Tea Party. Instead of Boston, you go with New England. I found that R. I found that Patriot with the glove on it. Well, I didn't find the R. It's just an R. And I put the guy in there when I found the guy. I'm not crazy about using the team name for the initial on the hat or on the jersey, but I mean, there was no good NE out there, so I just went with that. And oh my God, I did it again. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm the worst. I'm the worst player in the world to have some kind of video game screen. You're retired from what? What are you retired from? Where do they go? Who am I on? Rebels. Okay. Their away uniforms. Red top. I made sure they had blue socks. No red socks in the Ricky Davis League. Bow Tiger. Yeah, that's their away uniform. I just made the Rebels and outlined it. You're retired from YouTube and making stadiums. Mm-hmm. Sure you are. After the Rebels, we are at the Atlantic City Aces. On this jersey, I used the diamond in the middle. At first, it was hearts, but then I'm like, wait a second, it's baseball diamond. So then I put the diamond in there, and then on the hat, you got the spade, the ace of spades in there. That's their home. And away, blacktop, Atlantic City. I love that Atlantic City. I don't know who made it. I found it in the vault, and I thought it looked great, so I stole that. And again, their color scheme is red and black for the suits of cards. Sandman Dan, made a great stadium in New Jersey for them. Here's the Hawaiian Islanders. I've gone through like a million different H's. They're all probably H's that have been for a team, but oh well. I like their home. I like that color scheme a lot. I've been using it for stuff outside of the Ricky Davis League. Oh, there I go again. I'm always torn about the away uniforms, but I always end up doing it. The pinkish pants. What do you think about the pink pants, fellas? Is it pink or is that like, I'm going for more of like a violet, like the second cheapest group of stuff you can buy at Monopoly. Not the two brown ones, but the next group, right? Or no, are they around the corner? I don't remember. But yeah, I found that Hawaii. I used that and just threw it in there. There's Washington, Sewell. Washington definitely doesn't have a stadium. They're new. It's the DC Admirals that someone gave me. Ray Ratliff made a team, but he gave us a stadium to go with that team. Now I got to find who made that Admirals for me. I have that here. It's not far up if I just keep scrolling. Oh, let me know if you guys can hear the fan, by the way. I can't hear myself, and I got a fan on. Wow, did I make that many videos since? I must have missed it. All right, well, I apologize. I lost his name. I'm not going to bore you guys me looking for it for an hour and a half. Long Ball 31, there it is. He gave us the Washington Admirals. We built it live on a live stream. He told me where to find everything, and we went from there. Okay, good. Big Mac, I'd love to have it. If you could submit it to me, if you're willing to, in a Google form, that would be best. Powdered Unicorn is the official color name. Of what? A lot of rosters of OS, but I created quite a few. Oh, yes, Frankie, definitely. Send me more players. I'm all about that. Steve, yes, there you are. Okay. I apologize. I know I haven't put your name to Long Ball 31 yet. So thank you. That I think that team looked very, very nice. We're going to get to that one very, very soon. Next up, we have Manhattan Express. This one seemed pretty. Wait, well, what? Oh, there they are. Woo! I was looking at the screen. That one's dragging a little bit. This one seemed pretty popular. There's express trains in New York, the subways. So we went with a train, but again, all the train logos we found turned out to be real teams someplace. Like I think there's actually a minor league team that's you can find in this game. We stole the Mets idea. The Mets colors are based on the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants, who both left New York. So I went with this color scheme of the Mets, or the Mets orange and the Yankees midnight blue. I do have a stadium for the Admirals, but not sure if it's as good as some of the others you've been featuring. Welcome to use it. I'll take a look at it, definitely, Steve. Again, I don't know if I want to tie us to one stadium per franchise. Why? You guys go through all the time to make the stadiums. Why not show them? Because we are going to record highlights from the games, showing us playing your stadiums. The away uniforms, I found that Manhattan. I love using the logos with skylines, the silhouette of a skyline. We have something similar for the Chicago Hitmen. The circles are actual colors of subway trains. So that's why I picked those colors to go with to circle Manhattan. And Express was just in the vault someplace, so I used that. It's probably one from a real team. San Juan Sharks. This is another team that I really like simply because this was my color scheme for the Gamblers when I first started using them. I've been obsessed with this. Well, I was obsessed with this color scheme for a long time. I really liked the Seattle Seahawks what the hell is their quarterback's name who's dating Ciara? Why can't I think of it? Am I thinking of the right person? I really and they had Marshawn Lynch, who was obviously a Bill. So I was into the Seahawks for a while, and I loved their color scheme, that blue with, the little almost neon green highlights. It's probably more of a lime green, I guess. And then they're away. I found that Sharks. It was so tedious. I think they were all black, those bite marks, but I turned them into transparent marks so that they would, look like sharks took a bite out of them. And I love that logo, and I think it fits really cool there. So I knew if I gave up that color scheme, I'd want to give it to someone else in the RDL. So there it is. Russell Wilson. Okay, did I say Russell Wilson or did I say Russell Martin? All right, Murph. Yeah, I'll definitely pitch that idea to Mark because I think because I've always said, we have the power. When we first started to rebrand teams, we're like, okay, we need to put Phoenix in the West, we need to put California in the West, and we need to put Texas in the West. And we're like, wait a second, they're not really flying to all these places. We can put them wherever the hell we want, So why not take advantage of this? Another reason I like Russell Wilson, Frankie, is because he was a minor league baseball player, right? He played in the minors, and he went to Yankees camp a couple times and played in a couple games. After the San Juan Sharks, we have the Portland Beavers. This is another team I was really fond of, but again, I know that there was a team back in the day. I wanted to mix it up. I got tired of the same old because we've had these guys from day one. The Beavers is new, I found. The PB I found on top is new last season. It's Portland Beavers in the shape of a baseball glove. I used to have that stupid beaver that you see everywhere, so I got tired of him, and I found that in there, and I really liked it. I just changed it to the colors. It's basically Tampa Bay Rays colors, the blue and that baby blue or whatever color blue that is, and then added yellow to it because you see a lot of yellow with Tampa Bay, but I don't think it's an official color. So I made that for them. They're away. There's the Portland, again, inspired by Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay and Braves in the 2010s or teens, they have on the back just the outline, and then the numbers are the same colors as the shirts. So I like having that color scheme, and I kept it with these guys. I think it looks especially cool with yellow. Russell, wasn't it San Jose Stadium is garbage? Someone redo it. San Jose. Do you mean San Juan, Sewell? I thought you made a San Juan stadium. That San Juan one is like one of the best stadiums ever. How you didn't pick that for your Stadium of the Year 2023, I don't know. That one and the one you did pick that kept going on. San Jose, Murph did a San Jose one. But yeah, Portland Beavers. I like the Portland Beavers, okay. Phoenix Outlaws. I love this freaking team. I freaking love them. Thank you, Frankie. I'm glad you like them. The Outlaws, I went with the Old West, because Tombstone is in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, and I love the movie Tombstone, so I went, everything's brown, everything's tan, and I found that outlaw in the vault and stole him. I know that there's only the Blue Jays and the Orioles that have a character as their logo on their hats. But I found him and I thought he worked. I thought he made sense. And it just went with kind of the brown and stuff. Yeah, the Wizard Stadium was cool. And I mentioned it earlier, Sewell, that was one that I first saw the windows glitch, that anomaly, where you could take the windows out of a home run fence and stick them everywhere else. But yeah, here's the away. Mark says he hates this team. He can't stand it. But when I first introduced these guys, people seem to like it. Now, the away one is where it gets really crazy. You got the tan pants. I like these guys. I think these are fantastic. The Phoenix is obviously from the Phoenix Suns? Is that what it's from? But someone made it. I stole it. I put the guy kind of hanging over the H. I freaking love this team, and Mark hates it. All right, Frankie, we're going to be on again live Friday with Mark, introducing some stadiums, maybe playing the first couple games. I don't know, but we'll see. I feel dusty looking at these uniforms. Do you like them or no? What do you think? Because Mark says he hates them. I happen to love them. Steve, what was the interesting choice on? I'm sorry, that was so long ago. I should have been paying attention sooner. I have a DC Stadium. Big Max, send it my way, man. Symmetrical's okay. Archmage created a symmetrical stadium for the Rebels. Sepia mode. I freaking love these guys. I love this stadium. Again, I wanted it, like Old West. You never see Clint Eastwood and anything colorful. Except for Back to the Future 3. But yeah, these guys coming around. You live litter. I'm from the Old West. That always reminds me of a joke, by the way. You love them? Thank you, Murph. Thank you. Oh, the pink Hawaiian pants were an interesting choice. Every time I try, Steve, to break away from them, I say, screw it. I'm going with it. 80s pop. There you go. Yeah. I don't know if they had tan pants, but I didn't like the brown with the gray, so I had to figure a different way to do it. Yeah, Willie Mays Ballpark is fantastic, Sewell. I have to agree. It's gorgeous. But I have to do it, guys. I'm sorry. I have to do it because I started doing my Western voice. Whenever I do that voice, I think of the dog, the three-legged dog. Do you guys ever hear about him? What did the three-legged dog say when he went into the saloon at the Old West? He said, I'm looking for the man who shot my paw. If anybody has a drum roll, you can hit it now. Here they are, Steve, the Washington Admirals. Steve, or where did it go? Longball 31 was kind enough to give us this team. When we were looking for Mark's team, when we were going through the competition, everybody submitted their stadiums. Mark mentioned that we've never had a Washington team, and we should. So I kind of thought about getting rid of the New Orleans Demons just because I can never find a good color scheme. I can never find good logos. So we finally got rid of the New Orleans Demons and replaced them with the Washington Admirals. And I think these look really sharp. My only concern, and I told Steve while we were making this, is they're kind of based on Navy colors. And I did the same thing with like Pilots, with the Denver Pilots. But they look different enough, and I think they look fantastic. Did you do the Admirals? Absolutely, Steve. Like I said, I'm looking to get people more involved. If anybody has any other ideas, maybe you could replace Dublin. We have Rochester, who I'm not crazy about. There's a couple other ones in here. But their away uniforms are as follows. He told me about the baby blue again. Again, this is just Tampa Bay's blue, just because it's easier and it stays put. But I like that District of Columbia a lot for the away jerseys, and that's also a lot different from the Pilots. So thanks, Steve. This looks fantastic. The Salt Lake City Saltines. It's not bad. I like it. And when we did borrow from the same teams or from the same cities that already have Major League teams, we tried to mix it up. Like instead of the Minnesota Twins, it's the Minneapolis Twins. Instead of the Boston Red Sox, it's the New England Rebels. Instead of the New York Yankees, it's the Brooklyn Bomb Squad and the Manhattan Express. So that's kind of what our thinking was on some of that stuff. Obviously, Chicago, there's no really... I mean, we could have called them the Windy City Hitmen or whatever, but... yeah, so Steve, again, long ball, 31. Gorgeous, gorgeous uniform. I love having a DC team in the mix. I immediately went red, white, and blue, but this Admirals looks fantastic. And that probably means that our other new team is right next to it. The Tennessee Dreamers from Ray Ratliff. He came in. I didn't even know this was a thing. I just handed over controls to my PlayStation to Ray and watched him create this freaking game on my TV. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's how little I know about video games, and here I am having a streaming channel on on YouTube. But I'm not a huge green guy, as you all know, but it's definitely different. It's definitely unique. So there's no, there's nothing too similar to teams that we already have. So I definitely enjoy that. And then the away uniforms with the yellow and white pants. I asked him when he was creating this team, I'm like, please tell me you don't have yellow and gray, because something about those bright colors with gray, I can't stand. And the A's back in the 70s, one year I was the A's before we could rebrand teams. They have yellow with white pants too, because the gray, just something about gray with yellow, it just doesn't go together to me. So, yeah, this is Ray Ratliff. He gave us Eagle Square as their home stadium as well. So thank you, Ray, for that team. And now we're getting close to the end because I made them early. Here's Rochester Galaxy. Again, my brother's youngest son made this. I like the Galaxy. They got the stars in there and the G on top. I like the color scheme, but again, I don't know how Rochester ties into space at all. We have an observatory. It's not... Wait, what was it called? What are those called when you look at the stars? Planetarium, like South Park. Planetarium. So I like their color scheme. I like the team, but, I mean, it's just... There's really no tie. And we figured we should have a Rochester team since we're from Rochester. Away uniforms. Oh, I changed them this year. I found that Rochester in the vault. I added that star, that North Star looking thing that we have in the G, and put it over the O and the C, and then made that midnight blue like their whole uniform. I used to be so against full colored away uniforms, but lately I've been digging it. And I think it looks good on the Rochester Galaxy, too. Montana Pioneers is a good one. Well, how many people, like, what, 4 people live in Montana, though? Where are we now? Ohio Dinos. This is another team that I could definitely do without. Brother's youngest team did it. That's why I made them early. I wanted to get the crappy ones out of the way. I don't remember exactly what they made because they didn't upload the things, but there they go. Sandman Dan actually made a dinosaur-themed stadium, so I kind of, assigned it to them. I don't know if we'll keep that or not, but we could definitely do without the Ohio Dinos. The Dinos was their home and their way shirt in the past, but I found a couple different Ohios and kept the same thing with the scratch in it and tried to keep the uniform colors and the fonts and all that stuff the same as he made it back in the day. London Bulldogs. The Bulldogs is new. I used to have the Bulldog from the hat on the chest. The South Dakota Rushmores. Only seats that a team are allowed in. That's a good idea, though, Sewell, actually. The Bulldogs based on the England flag. The blue with the white stripe and then the red in the middle. I like the Bulldogs enough. I could have just put the Bulldog on the chest again, but again, I was trying to mix things up. At the time, it was early. I was making stuff. I didn't mind spending a little time on stuff. After a while, you just get so tired of making them, you just want them to be all done. But this is another team that has all one color in the uniform, and I think it works out for their away. I think they look pretty cool. I like them. All the color of their flag. Denver Pilots. The first version of this team I didn't like. Mark picked out some weird maroon and some weird gray. Like, he had, like, maroon and, like, army green, and I hated it. So I found the D. Well, I just flipped the P and made it, lowercase d to kind of make that funky DP logo thing. I found that Pilot baseball in the thing, put it in the middle of the P. And again, like I told Steve, this is kind of, similar to the Admirals. I went with the, what you see a pilot wearing. I hear that Denver has some kind of airstrip or some kind of base out there. This team's going to be located in Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Is that a real place, Almost Heaven? Yes, I have a couple Denver Pilot, including one that I made a long time ago. I should have recreated it, but I haven't yet. There's that one I want to redo, and I really want to do Monster Stadium from earlier versions of the game, but I haven't yet. Their away uniforms. Again, the gray, but I found that baseball with the wings, and Denver I just made with the letters that they have. Gold. I like them. Vancouver Yetis, another team I could maybe do without. I think their colors got mixed up like this game likes to do. So I'm not sure that's their usual color I use for them. Almost A's, a weird green and the yellow. The V, obviously, is just a V from the fonts. I found the foot and that Yeti guy. I had another Yeti guy at first, but he looked like something from a 90s video game or something, so I lost him. I found him. I thought he was more fun, a little hipper with the funky goggles, especially now that those goggles were pretty fun at the time. Oh, okay. I didn't catch that, Sewell. My bad. Oh, boy. Uniforms. Away uniforms. Yeah, that green doesn't seem right to me. And I don't feel like taking the time to fix, so screw it. These guys are going to stay like this. Again, if you have cool teams you could send our way, let me know. And if you think of it before Friday, because we're starting Friday. But that green is not right. I definitely like older versions of this better. I do like the Vancouver. I added the feet and the Yeti above the V and the A. Idaho potatoes. Coming down to the last couple here, then we'll dive into that stadium that Sandman Dan made. Brooklyn Bomb Squad. I wasn't crazy about these guys at first, but I kind of revamped their logo. I found that bomb, and I loved the bomb. So I added that. The Bomb Squad, I hated it because I couldn't stretch it across the thing and made it big enough. So I decided to put it in the, on top of each other, and that helped. And then I took a B like from the Brooklyn Dodgers and put it on the cap and put 2 bombs in the middle of the Bs. I love the color scheme. That's pretty much Respect the Picks color scheme now. The away I like just as much, even though it's gray, and I'm not particularly fan of just all gray uniforms. But franchise mode needs to give us an alternate jersey, at least one. There should be an alternate home and an alternate away. What would be even better is if you could edit the jerseys mid-franchise. When you are making a league, you can edit players. You can change their name. You can totally redo their stats in the middle of a franchise mode. If you're playing in stadiums and you don't like them, you can assign different stadiums to different teams in the middle of franchise mode once you've started a franchise. But those freaking logos and those uniforms are locked in place. Give us the ability to edit the logos and the uniforms and all that once the franchise has started, and we'll have unlimited logos, or we'll have unlimited uniforms. I think that would be fantastic. Yeah, someone else said that too, Sewell. Get rid of the lower gen. But the problem is you still got Switch. Is it still going to be on Switch? Switch is still pretty low powered. There's Brooklyn Bomb Squad. I love them. So it used to be Manhattan Express was the high-profile New York team, but we switched it because I like their uniforms better. And Mark's older son, Jaden, again, respect the pick, he came up with the team in the first place. He had a different logo, but I couldn't find it, and he never uploaded it, so I revamped him a little bit. I agree, Stadium Center. I thought Switch would be nice because you can still make guys on Switch and then upload them to the vault, and then I could download them, I didn't have to be at my computer chair or my video game chair. I could be sitting watching a movie with my wife and make guys, but it just didn't work out. Plus, I'd have to spend $120 on one game. But now I have my PlayStation Portable, so hopefully that will work. All right. I think the last team, right? Chicago Hitmen. I found that new H with the bottom of the H shaped like a home plate. Again, that's probably used in some real team someplace, but I liked it. I changed it up a little bit. I think I had Hitmen outlined in red before, but red's supposed to be more like a highlight for them. I don't know why I figured everything should be black and gray, maybe because of like the 30s gangsters. So they obviously had to be pinstriped. I found the C with the crosshair in the vault and added the bullet wounds. Actually, I found the C in the vault, and I added the crosshair. I found the crosshair someplace else. I don't know why I found the crosshair, but I thought it was kind of cool, the Hitman kind of thing. And I like their uniform. They're a very high-profile team, Chicago. Their away uniforms are as follow. Oh, that's new. Ugh, do I like that? Do we like the pinstripes? I don't remember doing the pinstripes. Ugh. But there's the Chicago skyline behind Chicago. What do you think of the pinstripes, fellas? I'm thinking no. Can you do a solid black with no pinstripes? And then do pinstripes on the pants? Yeah, I guess that was probably my thinking, Murph, is go with the pinstripes for the mob type thing. But on the away, does it work on the away? Okay, I'll leave it for Mark to see what he thinks about it on Friday. All right, that's all the teams. So yes, I want to leave. I'm not in love with the fact that they went with just the hat logo when you go through all the teams here. But it's ridiculous that I have to actually create a franchise just to look at the teams and create the teams and edit the teams. It's unbelievable that they don't have its own thing for that. And now I wanted to work on that stadium for a little while. I don't have too long. My wife will be home, and we'll want dinner. But I have it all made, ready to go. All we got to do is zap it. I think I kept it because I knew I wanted to. There it is. I knew I wanted to fix it eventually. Yeah, Chicago has a stadium, Sewell. The one I made. Might as well show it to you real quick. I'm going to add those lights. Chicago has United Airlines Field. I guess United Airlines has a base in Chicago. That's why I named it after that. I don't know. I haven't heard it, Murph, but Sewell's the second person that I've heard it from. So other people have said it before. Yeah, sorry, man. I love the stadium. I almost changed to the stadium and made this one the ballpark at the Moonshot Casino when I first made it because I loved it. This idea I stole from someone in the vault. They had the fountain underneath this big building. So I borrowed that idea, and I hid the green, and I put the seats up here. And now you can do standing room, so I put the standing room guys up top. I'm not crazy about the bleachers in center, but the standing room, this whole walkway is much better now that you can add fans to it. And I think this is a perfect place for that new prop. Oh, no, not that guy. Is it in lighting? I would think it's in lighting. Yeah, this guy. Where should these go? Like in front of this? See, I'm a little sloppy. Something like that. Does that look good? But this is a perfect spot for these lights. Am I right? Man, it's so long since I've been in Stadium Creator. It's so nice to be back. Now that all the teams are made, I can make more stadiums. I may cry. I mean, I guess I was in there making the future version of the ballpark at the Moonshot Casino. But man, this doesn't take up much memory. Oh, now I'm at 100%. Yes, I was inspired, Sewell. Again, I borrowed it. Because George Lucas said that, from when he was talking about Star Wars, he borrowed from all those serials and, Flash Gordon, like the scroll and thing. He borrowed those ideas. He didn't steal them. He borrowed them. So that's why I tend to say borrowed. But those lights are perfect for that, right? Do they light up very well? But yeah, left field is really fun. My favorite parts are, you always talk about being able to hit the ball out of a stadium, and it's always fun to hit the ball out of a stadium. And so I wanted not able to just hit it out. I wanted to hit the street, and you can definitely hit this building. I've hit it in batting practice or home run derby. I've hit this building, and I thought it was fun to have this stands. This is the headquarters of the. Well, their headquarters are in this building for the Chicago Hitmen, and they decided to build a section of seating that leaked across the street. So here you can actually drive underneath a portion of the stands. And I always thought that was fun. But I showcased the stadium in like the second video I ever made. You are Camo Brew, I'm sorry. But this video, I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to throw it back up. It'll be available soon, and you can go through and find them all. So this is Chicago's home, Sewell. Do you remember the stadium at all? You may have found this channel after I've already showcased the stadium. But I love it. It's one of my babies. I think it's fairly clean compared to some of the other stadiums I've made. It's one of my better cities in the background, even if it doesn't look like Chicago. Never really knew what to do in right center field, but this is what I went with this time. I think I've liked other right center fields in the past of this stadium. But, yeah. All right, so back to... So, I mean, I think someone made a Vancouver. I can name them again real quick, Camu Bro. I have a Camu Brew. I don't think you showed that one in stadiums that expired. You showed the Brooklyn one with the bridge. I have a list of the stadiums or the team names right here. Because Camu Bro, Camo Brew. Is that right? Camo Brew. I have to force myself to say that. I'm just going to list them all real quick. Memphis Rockers, New England Rebels, Brooklyn Bomb Squad, Sitka Grizzlies, that's Mark's team, Florida Lightning, Chicago Hitmen, Charlotte Spiders, Atlantic City Aces, Las Vegas Gamblers, that's me, Minneapolis Sky Sox, Denver Pilots, Hollywood Superstars, San Jose Wizards, Portland Beavers, Dallas Butchers, the Ohio Dinos, Manhattan Express, Vancouver Yetis, San Juan Sharks, Tokyo Monsters, San Diego Diablos, Rochester Galaxy, the Dublin Vipers, the Phoenix Outlaws, the Hawaii Islanders, the San Antonio Defenders, the London Bulldogs, the Michigan Wolves, and new are the Washington Admirals and the Tennessee Dreamers. So if you want to make a stadium for any of those teams, feel free, man. We'll play in it. So if you don't remember this stadium, Sandman Dan created this freaking beautiful little bay out here in Hawaii and named it Aloha Stadium. And he's got this beautiful little building that fits in perfectly to the vibe of the stadium. He made this great little planner here with the, those anomalies are gone too. We got to fix that somehow. I mean, that should be easy enough just with some bushes, right? If they let us get close enough. Yeesh, that's gonna be a thing. Ugh. But we'll see what we can do. He's got this awesome fountain out here in center field next to the batter's eye. And then he put the anomaly here, and then he just had like stands just like this going in right field. I added all of this. He had all this deck. All these decks were his too behind the stadium. I think I added a bunch of buildings. I think this was all pretty plain black back here. And then I just built some of these decks off the anomaly. And I built this little window here in right and this section of seating and topped it off with this little guy here. So this is Aloha Stadium. I would love to use it for the Hawaii Islanders. Sewell and Murph both made great. You did do a Van Hoover move, Murph, I remember. I like adding global teams. I almost did one for mine, but I wasn't a big fan of ones in the vault, so I stuck with North America. Okay. Are your rebranded teams real players or fictional players? Yeah, he told me a while ago, Sewell, and I try to say I'm pretty sure I remembered him saying Camo Brew. It takes every ounce of my soul to say that correctly. 100% fictional sim to 100. Oh, great. Do you have any players that we can borrow to put in the Ricky Davis League? I still have to download guys from Frankie and I think from Ray Ratliff. I would love to incorporate different guys. And please feel free. The official Ricky Davis League roster is going to go up before Friday because, Mark, the last thing that we need to do is we need to get the correct players on my team because I'm going to make some trades. And then Mark has to go through and better personalize his players because right now they're basically versions that I always pictured them as a kid. You know, just so they were there for the RDL Legends. But yeah, so here we go, fellas. We got to take this anomaly out. And what do you think? Do we just build off like where the people are standing and try to, I don't know. I kind of want to replace it with like buildings as opposed to just making decks. Are there new old school buildings that would fit? So yeah, Camo Brew. If you have some good players, let us know. People are in the vault that we can download. Well, we definitely got to do this. First of all, we got to hide. Now that you guys are watching me, I'm totally going to butcher all this. I'm going to become so slow and you think I've never played this game in my life before. And the other thing about me is I like to think I have good enough ideas, but my patience isn't the best, so I don't always make them as clean as they should be. Okay, so we have to make that pretty thick. And if I can't snap them together, this is where I also get impatient. This is where I can't believe some of Arch's work. Arch and Texas Ags and those guys who make such tedious designs. And the stupid outline, although I know we need the outline, it drives me crazy sometimes because it hides the seams. Tip and trick, a lot of times what I like to do is snap it, even if you're not going to leave it snapped, just to get the right angles and right height to go with the rest of the stuff, even if you have to blend them together eventually again anyway. Okay, so that's got to come in. Now these got to go back. How much memory am I playing with? That's another issue. Oh, I've still got 12%. That's great. Okay. What do you say? I'll go through what I have and see who I can grab and then add to the vault. Keep you posted. Because of your rant, I'm working on a new Fenway. When I'm finished up, I'll let you know since You got a New England franchise. Yes, Kamo, bro. Kamo, bro. Yes, definitely. Arch made a newer version, and I told Arch this. Arch wanted to take on the New England Rebels because he made a stadium like 2 versions of this game ago, and I downloaded it, before I was on YouTube and before I knew who Archmage was. And then once I got into this and saw more of Arch's stadiums and started connecting the screen name to his style, I realized, looking back, that it was probably his, and it was, in fact. So I said, you know what, though, Arch? Boston, their shit has been so old for so long. A new stadium. I want you to go out of your comfort zone and make a new stadium for the franchise. So if you make Boston, it doesn't have to be future props, but it has to be modern. That's the rule. Carmen's dad is a remix wizard. Is he? Okay. Rebuild the batter's eye like Carmen did in my park. You mean the anomaly, Sewell? I'd like to keep the fountain if I could. I revamped the way he hid over here. This should probably have... This should probably be like this, right? Man, that fountain is loud. I gotta turn my TV down. It also has to have dinosaurs. He has canoes, right? Yep, he has canoes! We have canoes! 2 canoes, one of each. That's good. It's better than nothing, right? We should sneak one closer. Can we put one, like, right here? Oh, he's, like, floating. How does he floating? Okay. How close? Let's get him as close as we can. Let's copy the guy, too. Phil's flashy canoes. There you go. These 2 dudes. Am I missing something? Is it like way hot? Oh, that's a girl. Okay, a guy and a girl. Are these guys like... They're on water, right? I'm not changing the level. How is it so... Oh, there's like a little dip right there. Okay, I see underneath. Underneath this walkway, there's almost like a little mini waterfall type situation. I never realized that about the stadium. Can this come up? I mean, I mean, I never noticed it before, so I guess it doesn't hurt to leave it the way it is now. Yeah, that could be true. I'm going to use your stamp, Sewell. I think in the next video, I have the one that I recorded. I think I have a Stadium of the Year contender or 2, so I'll use that again. I'll definitely use that. I'll try to find that Indiana Jones and just flash it up there and make that sound. But yeah, I didn't want to mess with left field too much because it's gorgeous. It's weird because I always knew where to start with my own stadiums, but now that I'm in here and you guys are watching, I'm nervous. Like, I don't know where to start. I feel like I kind of want to leave these guys here, but I think maybe I'll group them together and set them aside for now. But I would definitely like to use this for at least one game against the Islanders just because Dan's left field is so good. And then what I usually do is I like to just throw it way up in the air. That way, just kind of lower it right back to where it used to be. Okay, so what do I do? Do I add a second deck? Maybe we can do like a little bleacher section that comes down from this level. That's the first idea that came to my mind. Ooh, maybe we can put a little awning over it. At the top, anyway. Let's try that. I think that's a good idea. Why am I going there? I need to be here and here. Now these bleachers are a little bit more expensive, but they're the only ones that looked all that great. Okay, that's as close as I can get. What do you think? And then spin that like that. This is a new experience for me, building with an audience. Even if it is only 7 viewers. But it's 7 very important viewers. Commercials are fake sponsors. That's why I feel going live. Never know what to say or do. Yeah, it's a little awkward. I'm not going to lie. Like when it's just me spewing out my own information about players and teams I've been working on for years, it's a little easier. But now that, I got like... See, I wish I could snap here. But I kind of like that idea. What do you think? And just do a little bit of that. Boom, make them go all the way across. Could they go over the waterfall a little bit? But then I feel like I need to have something below supporting the lower part of the bleachers, right? And then it can just blend right into the deck behind me. I don't want to butcher this deck too much because Dan built this awesome multi-layered deck. I wish Dan was here. Where's Sandman Dan? He should be helping us with this stadium. It's his stadium. All right, I got to move these in. They got to be touching the bleachers. There we go. Break that apart so I can copy. Well, I guess I can delete one of these. I don't need both of them, right? That one I don't need. Yeah, I think I like that. It's simple enough. But then I gotta block off under here, especially further in the back, because you don't want to see that. That makes it a lot less clean, at least in my... I feel like I'm really slacking. I would have liked to have had a video out 2 weeks ago, and then next week. Dude, life happens, man. But when you get a new shift at work, I could put out a lot more videos if that happens. Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing overnights. My wife did it for a couple years as a nurse. And that's why she is hesitant to ever leave the job that she's at, because it's not easy to start someplace new and not have to work a lot of nights and weekends. And although she works every other weekend, and that's kind of rough for me, but oh well, now that I have this, I've been using those weekends to work on this. Now, do I close this off with the tile like the rest of it? Like, say, maybe starting here? Or do I put like a building back there? It's usually easier to kind of find a building. And I think, it'd be nice to maybe use some of those newer buildings. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe it can stick up a little bit. Maybe I can find one with like a balcony. Ooh, that new wedge. Everybody seems to like the new wedge. Where are the buildings? Like one of these in here? Oh, the rye. I didn't know it had some kind of thing on it. Does the other version of it? Yep. Maybe I can put it here and hide the rye part. That should work, right? Although there's a people... we can see a few people in here now, though. Tell you what, we also have to get rid of the scoreboard because I got to see what I'm doing. I'm going to get rid of these lights. Get rid of that one. Maybe this tree and the triangle. I don't know. Blending this one together is tough because it's a wedge. Could you flip it and do something like... No, that won't work. Could you do it like this, maybe? This kind of works. I don't know what the justification would be for a building in the middle like this when you already had the other fancier one over there, but I don't know. Let me look through the other buildings. See if I find something else better that works. I feel like it should be something new, you know, because if it would be in Hawaii, obviously it would be something a little bit more modern. And I guess brick can still be modern. It doesn't have to necessarily be futuristic, right? Maybe that one stacked on top of each other? I don't know. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want the art house. Man, I can't talk. Guy who can't play video games or can't talk definitely should have his own YouTube channel, huh? Ugh, I still have to find a way to hide that fountain, too. So maybe this has to come in a little bit more. Ugh, but that ruins the deck. Maybe I can extend this. Bring this all the way over. What do you think? That's a good point, Sewell. we may not be able to do alternate jerseys, but we can have different stadiums. Suck on that, MLB. That kind of closes off and hides everything else, and then I can get a little bit more creative up above. How does that look? And then maybe find a thinner... Whew. Starting to sweat. I cranked that AC. I don't know why it's so warm. Well, I do have myself in a little fort with a light right above me. All right, if that's as far as I can bring the thing down, then I'll have to move these seats in a little bit more. So I want them on that little thing. Then I'll have to create a fence for them. And now I've got to bring this out. And all the way over. I got a batch. Whoops, this is all connected. Well, that's no good. say it so many times. I really wish they had like a longer version of this fence, one where stuff was already connected and it was nice and long, so you didn't have to, snap and snap and snap. And I think these posts are a little bit more expensive memory wise than you'd think that they are. Well, I guess I don't really need this sign over here if there's not going to be people there, but we can take a look at that in a minute. Okay, is that all now hidden? Okay, let's see. Just want to see the best shift for tips. Yep. Yeah, I can imagine working late and weekends when it's busier. Now, why isn't that snapping? Okay, that looks pretty good, right? Just extending that. Maybe there needs to be stairs over here for people to access their seats, but I don't know if I want to take the time to do that. Get rid of these guys, give us some more memory. See, I found this pretty fun going through and fixing anomalies, or some anomalies in some of my stadiums. The whole thing is just getting started. That's always the hardest part. Once you get some kind of foundation down, it's pretty smooth sailing from there. Just need to get some of these people out of the way so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. You got to be really careful when you're deleting shit, because if you accidentally slip off and you delete the wrong thing, it can be hard to get it back. Oh, now these are all too close. Now this could double as a little observation deck for the fountain too, right? This can be a pain too when you're going through and somehow all the levels aren't even. I'm not sure if I made this part or if Dan did this part. I wish he'd show up. It'd be great to have his input on this. Damn Dan having a life. See, because then these guys are too high, and I mean, you're not going to really see these in the game anyway, so. 7:30. Yeah, wife gets out of work. I'm recording live right now, so if I don't answer the phone, that's why. Sorry, that's just faster than me trying to type at the same time as playing this game. Okay, how about something like that? And then maybe put a little building up on top too. I mean, we can almost just do a double layer of this. That way it kind of matches what's down below too. So again, an official call out if you're watching. If you made a stadium for the Ricky Davis League, I'd love to be reminded for it. I've gone through all the teams. I don't remember exactly which ones have teams and the names of the stadiums. And I was hoping to not have to dig through my videos, but, I mean, I get it if you guys are too busy or whatever. Murphs are pretty easy because he did so many of them. I know Arch has one for the New England Rebels. Bomb Squad I made. Sitka Grizzlies. Mark picked Murphs. Florida Lightning I made. Hitmen I made. Spiders. Charlotte Spiders. Sewell, you made one for Charlotte, right? Atlantic City Aces. I know Sammy and Dan made one. Gamblers is mine. Sky Sox. I made a Minneapolis Stadium, but it has anomalies, and I never finished it. And I know Murph made a Minneapolis Sky Sox. San Jose Wizards. I have a San Jose Stadium, and Murph has a San Jose. Portland. Is there a port one out there? You fixed all of your anomalies, even the ones you made for me? Great, thanks, man. Okay, that's good. Yeah, Charlotte was it's a remake of a stadium, right? Isn't it almost like a remix of a real stadium? I've driven through Charlotte, North Carolina before on my way to South Carolina, where a buddy of mine lives. But we didn't stop or anything. I mean, I like that, right? That looks pretty cool, that little bleacher section. It's pretty simple. Do we have to add a triangle there to keep people? Yeah, I think you did both versions. We'll probably use the upgraded one. Actually, why don't we just use one of these to close off this bleacher section here. Do I really have to duplicate this just to get it, bring it over? I guess so. I guess I got to leave it sticking out a little bit to have room for some kind of fence. Now, here's my problem with using the thinner concourse thing. I like to bury these a little bit, especially if they're in front of seats. I don't like people to be looking through this big old huge thing. But I want to lower it. But if I lower it, then it's sticking out of the bottom. And I'm not crazy about that look either. So maybe I can do one of these guys. This guy instead. How about that? Yeah, I think that works. Okay, why don't I do that? I'll delete you. See ya. Copy. Boom. Tuck you guys in right up against that wall now. Okay. Then we can swing you around so no one has the idea of jumping off. Okay, it's low enough for them. This is another thing. I wish there was a prop that looked more like these fences. That would be fantastic if they made a wall like that, which is why when I saw the one new fence that's actually old looking, I thought that would be nice to have, but oh, I can do this. Snap it. And then combine them. If you're looking for tips, if you're new to Stadium Creator, this is another thing I do, is I'll snap them together and then link them together and then rearrange them. But, I mean, it's a preference thing. Whatever, you know, works for you to make it a faster process. Spin him around. The new face prop is good. Oh, fence prop is good. It doesn't link together correctly, though. Really tedious to use. I was thinking to say the same thing about them not linking. I haven't tried to use them at all yet. But I was so excited. I was like, oh, maybe they'll have more than one new one, and that was the only one. What a shock, huh? San Diego Studios disappointed us. Okay. Then we got to do this. I was a little glad to see that, Sewell, you seem to work the way I do, like a little OCD. Well, not OCD. What am I thinking of? I don't know. Low attention span, because I'll be working on one area and then I'll notice something else and be like, oh, got to change that, and then totally abandon what I was working on. And here's another thing I like to do, guys, for those people new. If you need a shorter fence, you can either use the gate or do this and line it up with the other fence. And then if you want to take the time and be really tedious, then you can't really tell that, there's two overlapping each other. Again, just because I've had people ask, you should do a tips video. And I don't know if I can do a whole video on tips. Tips and tricks. I don't know if I'm any master creator where I should be giving a whole lot of tips. But again, I thought that in radio too. I remember one time I was just like a secondary producer. I was screening phone calls and, working on some commercials and pulling audio and stuff like that when I was working in radio. And they put an intern with me, and they're like, oh, just show them around. Show them what you know. I'm like, what the hell do I know? I'm this bum freaking producer. And then all of a sudden I was like telling them all these things, and I'm like, hey, what do you know? I do know some stuff. Okay. I'm liking that, right? That looks pretty cool. I feel like, wouldn't it be nice if we could have like a mini waterfall coming down right here in this little gap? What's a cool little prop we can put right there? Ugh, I don't want to have to do it, but I almost feel like... what am I getting myself into? I feel like I need these straighter. Wouldn't it be cool if somehow, like right here, you could just have that waterfall in the back there? There's nothing else that really creates the waterfall, though, is there? You can't use this because the stupid things, the curves. I was about to say same thing about them not linking. Okay, I'm still... just to state it again, the main reason I wanted to go live today was to introduce the stadium or the teams. So, the video's there so people know what the teams are for the Ricky Davis League, and they can go through and look for themselves and decide if they want to make a stadium for a certain team. And I did it live because I knew if I recorded it and tried to edit it, it would take forever for me to release the video. So I decided if I do it live, then I'm kind of forcing myself not to edit it and not worry about my slips of the tongue and ers and ums and stuff like that I spend way too much time editing out in my normal stadium extravaganza videos. All right. Okay. Now, how can we go from there, fellas? Give me some tips here. I feel like we have to send this all the way over. Whoops, not that. We don't need all of them. I'm not crazy about having to do stuff like this, but I feel like that needs to be there, right? Or can I make this like some kind of standing room only area? Is there an easy fix to this? Yes. This is another thing that I wish was, I don't know what the fix is for this, but the way they kind of like bounce, from prop to prop, you can't tell which one is, the dominant prop. Oh, it's the grass that's making that look like that. See, there's that stupid dotted line causing me grief again, making it so I can't line up the crease. Man, you record videos and you blink. Now, I guess it's the same for making stadiums. You blink and 2 hours have gone by. Oh, wow. Those aren't linked together very well, are they? I don't have the music going like you do either, Sewell. I've adjusted the fan a little bit. Is that still not hearable? About the stupid heart. This heart needs to go. What happens? Oh, it just does something. ADHD about the Z fighting. Z fighting. I can email you a link to some music that's copyright free. Okay, thanks, man. I don't know how much live streaming I'll do. Maybe a little bit more, with the Ricky Davis League starting. Maybe we'll live stream some games, but I don't know. The games can be pretty boring, especially when you're facing a tough pitcher and there's not a lot of action. But It'd be fun if we got on and like actually had like a live no-hitter or perfect game or something like that. Mark has thrown like a gajillion perfect games with Mike Gooden. I've thrown, I think, one perfect game with Brett Howe. He's my ace. And then maybe one, not one, a bunch. I'm pretty sure I've thrown 2 or 3 no-hitters with Brett Howe in the same season. But I like that. I like how that looks, having that just go all the way across. And then different layers of the deck. I think if we could just maybe find a fancier way of closing this off, maybe with a scoreboard. That could be simple enough. Because we are in need of a scoreboard now. I mean, that's making it pretty simple, but I mean, I do have to wrap things up anyway. Wife's coming home, got to have some dinner, get a little fatter. That one's too big. I would like to use that one. I like an obnoxiously big scoreboard. And I like these two, but I'm not a fan of these stupid things. And the fact that it's a green base. Well, I guess there's just green highlights, I guess. These are the new Wrigley ones, right? I can't believe they went all those years without having a big video board. The only problem with that is the scoreboard kind of blocks off people who are on the deck. But, I mean, if you're way back here, how much of the game can you really see anyway? You hear crack. Ah! You turn around and there's a big scoreboard. Yeah, you can't really see the game action anyway, so maybe you can put a mini scoreboard on the other side. I hear clickety-clackety, clickety-clackety. Hey, buddy. How's my old man today? I showed Charlie on a previous video, right? My little buddy. Let's see. We got him in... I think he was... We got him in 2013, which means he was born in 2012. So he just turned 12. Only has one eye. He had glaucoma, and the pressure built up to the point where it was so painful that the best move was just to take his eye out. And there's no other really smaller scoreboard that fits in there pretty well. Maybe the lightning bolt? Nope. It sticks through the back. I didn't realize that about the lightning bolt one. I mean, this seems like a pretty simple fix, but it works, right? And we don't have a whole lot of memory to play with. I mean, I could just go back to back, right? Would that work? Maybe a smaller one. Yeah, do that one. Here we go. That way people hanging out on the deck can see what's going on when they hear the crack of the bat and the crowd roars. They can turn around and see what's on the video board. Put it on top of the building and hide the posts. Put what on top of the building and hide what posts? On what top of what building? Oh, on top of a building. I should have set up for call-ins. Could have you guys call in and give me ideas. I don't want to move this over because I want people who are looking at the fountain to be able to see the game too. See, these are the gates I was talking about. I don't remember if I put those there or if Dan put those there. But I feel like I kind of got to straighten this out now, too. Oy. I'm in for a lot of work. Dan, I hope you see this, buddy. I was so nervous to see if you would like the changes I made from the start. And you said you liked them. Hope you weren't just being nice and that you really did like them. Stephen K. Maybe I'll bust that stadium out in a minute because he wanted people to see it again, and he wanted to offer that up as a remix stadium. So maybe I'll bust that one out real quick before I go. Absolutely, Sewell. Yeah, tinker with it. Remix. I can't say it enough. I freaking love the idea of remix stadiums because it's kind of a way of showing each other what you really liked about the stadium, what you really didn't like about the stadium. You know, without being a prick and saying, I don't really like right field though. Because obviously I wasn't gonna mess with any of this. This is all freaking gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And all this decking behind, you know, having the seating areas. Now, this I imagine like before the game. I remember when we were at Pittsburgh, my wife and I got some food, and we sat down at a table with another couple because the rest of the tables were taken. And they were talking to us, telling us about Pittsburgh and asking us about New York, even though we're not from like New York City. And it was fun. But it was before the game, between batting practice and the actual game, and we were right along the river. And then when the game started, we got up and went to our seats. This is what I imagine this area being. And even after the game, I feel like teams should leave the stadium open for after the game for people who might want to hang out. The only problem I see with that is maybe people are a little drunk by then. Because I know they want to stop serving beer after the 7th inning. Maybe we can make that 2 layers. I didn't notice that sticking out before. I think that looks a little better like that. But I love his fountain. Not saying that's going to be a new segment of Stadium Creator, but what, Tinker Challenge? I like it. And hint, hint, if you want to see your stadiums on the channel streamed a little bit sooner, a tinker is a great way to do it. Because if I get a tinker, I pretty much always, as soon as I see that stadium, I put it in the next video. Because I love the concept of tinkering. I did it with so many stadiums in the first 2 versions of the game. I downloaded them and kind of tinkered them and made them a little bit more to my liking, my style. And there's some of mine that I love certain aspects of it, but not everything. So I definitely wanted help with them. What am I? Oh, let's do this. Get rid of that and that and bring this down. So here's what we got, fellas. I'll be on until the dog flips his shit. Because when the wife gets home, he will flip his shit. Okay, now what do we have to do to fix that? This has to spin more. Okay. And then this would have to come over more. When I hear the dog flip his shit, I'll go to Stephen K. Stadium real quick and show you that one as a remix challenge that he wants to offer up. It's in maybe not the last video I released, but maybe the one before that. I should probably number them. I started out numbering them, but there we go. That looks a little bit cleaner, right? How are we doing on memory? Pretty good still, right? And put you right here, so no one falls down here. And now we can have a couple standing room guys. Nope, I didn't go past them yet. I mean, it feels like we've had standing guys forever. But I've made so few stadiums in this game. In the 24 version. I mean, I think I've made one brand new stadium, and that was the one for Murph's, or not Murph's, Sewell's challenge. Oh, wow, I didn't realize that was so low. Well, yeah, I guess it makes sense that it was low because maybe these are a little bit higher. The minor league park I made. Sewell, did you didn't release I will, Sewell, I will. Now that I got Ricky Davis League going, I'll start making stadiums while I'm editing. I'll listen to myself and I'll make new stadiums. Now that the franchises are made, the players are made, I'll play my games real quick and then I'll go into stadium creator mode and we'll have some new stadiums. Okay, now these guys can hang out here. Maybe one more. No, I know what we'll do. We'll make a gate. Make that one like that. Wait. Nope. Because I don't want to block their view. I'm very concerned about fake crowd. I don't want that hanging off like that. Well, let me get these on the same level. And this is why stadium streaming can be boring sometimes. Because there's so much tedious stuff that you have to do to line things up. And how about that? I'll lower them just a little bit more. Because that short person back there can't see. There you go. Can I move this one over a little bit? Yeah, make it more even. That works, right? I didn't realize what. I've been waiting forever for you to make a brand new. Dan! Here you are! Hey! Just the man who I wanted to see this. What do you think? I wanted to change the anomaly in right field. I kept it simple just because I don't have a whole lot of time to stay on today. Dan, it's so good to hear from you, buddy. Oh, if only I could get the new steps in. So I got rid of the anomaly. I stretched this over. Again, just keeping it simple. I added a layer of bleachers that come down. Yeah, Sewell's going to come in and make me look like an ass. Going to come here and demolish this. But I kept your fountain, and now this kind of doubles as standing room only and a place to take a look at the fountain. And I got to add this up here. Another reason I like the scoreboard is because I don't have to fence all the way around. Bring you guys over here so I can see. Oh, I'm so glad you're on, Dan. What do you think? Is there anything that you recommend that I would change? because you started this baby. This thing is freaking gorgeous. I couldn't imagine. You know how excited I would be if I was just sitting at work on my lunch break one day, because that's when I would always watch Harrison's videos. I'd be bored at work on my lunch break, so I would flip through YouTube, and I found Harrison's channel. And you know how excited I'd be if I was just online one day streaming and all of a sudden someone's working on my stadium? I'd be so happy. It doesn't happen much, but the days that I go through the vault and I find somebody who did my stadium. Let me do that real quick. I want to do that real quick. I'm sorry, guys. Especially now that Dan's on. I feel like as soon as he comes on, now I'm leaving. But hold on. I want to save this. 93%. I still have a lot of room. I want to make sure I save what I got before the freaking thing glitches out on me or something. But this is a gorgeous ballpark, Dan. I can't wait to use this in more games. And somehow, in a lot of ways, I think using the anomalies is a little overrated. I've said it time and time again. My favorite thing about the anomalies is the fact that you could kill some empty space near the home run fences that you couldn't normally. All right. All right. So I'll exit out of there. While this is loading, I'll take a second to remind you that the Studio 44 shop is open. You can get cool stuff like this shirt. I am going to make a shirt without the anomaly free. I can never get this right. Can you see that? It's got the Studio 44 logo on it. On the back, anomaly free. Anomaly free is not for me. I am going to make a version of this, though, without the anomaly free on the back. Because something about anomaly free is not for me. Sounds a little STD-ish. So maybe I'll come up with one, just the patch. I do have one with a big Studio 44, but maybe I'll just do a Studio 4 over here. I guess it would be up here. And then there's mugs, and this is probably the cheapest thing you can get. It's a glazed coaster. Coasters are a big deal for me. I have coasters all over my house. Like Larry says, respect the one. You gotta respect the one. Oh, Larry David. I've kept this just because I wanted to show it. Because I was so excited when I saw it. What is this one? Oh, this is one I just found in the vault. Shoot, some of these are stadiums that I showed in my latest video that you guys haven't seen yet. Okay, so this was a version of my stadium that I found. Now, I don't love the changes that were made, but the fact that I was scrolling through and I saw my stadium and that someone had changed it, I was so happy. He made a little, what is it Cowles Hill? Is that what it was called in Houston? He brought this anomaly in. I don't know if that was a mistake or if he purposely left it like that, but if you play it in a game, if I remember correctly, all the ball's going to do is just roll right through it, right? And you won't even, the ball and the player will just disappear. So I don't see the point in that. But here's an example of dead space that I just filled with anomalies. I like this one especially just because it's another roof, and I like my roofs. He must have lowered the home run fence. But he pulled this concession stand up, it looks like, and added this Texas one. And he added this row of seats. I actually kind of like that. Maybe I'll do that in mine. I kind of like that. But he added this Tokyo or Japanese type building in center field. And he put this scoreboard here, and he killed all my hills. He added this slide. So yeah, I'm not crazy about the changes. This I don't like this at all with the pinwheels. It's weird, you know, because let's face it, I don't love every stadium I've showcased on this channel, right? I can say that pretty fairly. I don't let you guys know which ones I don't like, but it's fun to come on and just be able to say, yeah, no, I don't like this at all. I mean, I guess I like the little decks sticking out, but I don't like them decorated with the pinwheels. And I don't see why you need all the Hall of Fame signs. And he lowered this and has that showing for some reason. I don't know. Saratoga Park and Racetrack. All right. Yeah, send it my way, Dan. I'll show it. Yeah, this was pretty much... I don't remember what I did back here, to be honest, with the stadium. But I don't see the point in some of this stuff. But I can't remember who downloaded it, and I don't know what the point of the station is. But here's the Stars Walk of Fame. He deleted all the stars that broke. I was pretty happy with this. I like how this turned out. This little Hall of Fame section down here. And these are all, of course, players for the Hollywood Stars, the superstars. 31 is Rob Thompson. 21 is Sean Warner. 35 is Guillermo Vasquez. 32 is the catcher, Tony Johnson, and 28 is Brody McGregor. I had Brody McGregor on my a couple times when I had a kind of a ace and a ace B. But what's blasphemy, Sewell? The fact that I said I don't like every stadium that I've shown? It's true. I don't. I don't love every stadium I've shown. I'll never let you know which ones I don't like. And I'll never let you know while I'm showcasing it. But I will do it. Or I don't love every one. So it's fun to come in here and say, yeah, I don't like this. All right, so now real quick. I'm sorry, I got to show the real one real fast. So people who just turned tuning in, I got a whole 6 viewers right now. I introduced all the teams to the Ricky Davis League in this video. When the stream is over, which is going to be pretty soon. Sherman Grounds is a masterpiece. You can't change my mind. Dude, I said right field looks amazing in that stadium. Where we have the canoe. This was the last stadium I made in 23, and I tinkered with it when 24 came out, just because you could add standing room props. And I got rid of the anomalies because center field was filled with anomalies. Basically, all these decks stemmed off the batter's eye, the Twins. And then I shrunk this a little bit and added the building with the pillars. I always like the pillars. And you got the hill here, even though people look like they could easily just hop over that thing and plummet to their death. But I like the hills. I think I shrunk the hill area a little bit. Right field I like better than the original version I had, because I had the building at weird angles, and I liked blending the ballpark eats into the blue building in the back. I think that looks cooler. And then over here, I like this little covered section of seating. And then here's the Walk of Fame with none of the stars. What do I got to do? This has to go here. I didn't know what else to make a star. Any other ideas how I can make a star? What prop? This is the crappy wood letters that you know I love so much. And then, you know, like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, obviously, right? So instead of like a monument park, their players would have a Walk of Fame. And I put the statues in front of the fountain. Or in the fountain, actually. Oh, I'm out of memory. But, yeah, I had these all the way across, you know, for every thing. I thought it looks better than... I like the one I did in the original version of the stadium. But this is completely different. The one I did originally for this in 2022, every luxury seat had their own pool. Every luxury box. Yeah, it was pretty standard around and behind. He did a lot different with the round and behind, huh? But, yeah, I like the luxury seats in front of the hill. And I like the different layers of hills. Something about the hills on top instead of, right up to the home run fence like they normally are. Small wood fence might work. I think it's a solid top. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. This guy, right? Yeah, that could work. Yeah, that would probably look much better. I'll have to change that now. Thanks, Sewell. I'm out of memory, but yeah, okay. Maybe they won't keep disappearing on me. All right, so that's that stadium. And since I'm out and about, I might as well show you Stephen K's, and then I'll get back into Dan's until the wife gets home, which should be really soon now. But I did what I wanted to do. I've got a basic idea down for the fixing the anomaly. I can't wait to see what Sewell has to say about the stadium. It's called the Aloha Stadium. Which one do you want, Sewell? Do you want the original, Dan's original, or do you want mine? I have an original in the vault with the anomalies, or with the anomaly. All right, I got to go to stadiums real quick. Oh, I'm not online. I find usually if I go to the vaults, it'll pop me right back online. Yep, see, there they are. Okay. Stadium creator. Okay, well, I mean, Aloha Stadium, the one with the anomalies is there, and Dan's original is in his vault. Okay. Yeah, I'm dying to see what you have. And believe me, if you do that, it'll be in the next video. Trust me. This is the one you did of mine, Sewell. Brooklyn Bomb Squad Stadium. All right, so I need to go here. And you showcased, his name is Stephen K. Was it 3001? Okay, yeah. I don't want to influence your thing at all. So yeah, do it off stream and send it my way. Stephen K version 3. Pretty sure he would want the latest version, so here it is. I'm sorry, I keep turning my head away from my microphone. But this is the one Steven wants remixed. Ooh, I like how... Was this in the last version I showed? The brick kind of looks like it's a continue off of the home run fence. But I like that he's got this concourse out here. He's got one of the newer batter's drops, or the backdrops, batter's eyes. Another fountain in the back. Deck in front of the fountain looks cool. Oh, these guys are just floating around. They're not facing the game. At least watch the game if you're going to float. So yeah, this is a stadium that Stephen K wants remixed. I hope Stephen K often drops in. Holy crap, it's after 8 o'clock already. Man. But here it is. He faced off the stadium with that. I want to say this is a New York building, one that you can see in Yankee Stadium now. Oh, and he wanted me to point out that he had horses on this track. But, I mean, here's my thing with the racetrack. I mean, when can you ever see it? You can't get it close enough to the stadium. There's some horses. Is that horses? Is that the plural of of horses? I didn't realize there's a little pond in here. But yeah, I just honestly I don't see much point in a racetrack. I'm curious, Dan, to see what you did with it. Because I mean, if you're playing in a game. I mean, again, if you build stadiums just for people to look at, download and look at, or showcase them on YouTube or whatever, I guess it makes sense. But if you're playing in a game, I mean, all you can see is the back of the building. But yeah, this is one of Stephen K's better stadiums. I like this one a lot. He's got a little concourse out here. Maybe someone could close off the concourse, fill in some of the spaces in here. That could be fun stuff. Oh, he's got his big, he's got a bunch of water in here. Nice. See, maybe you could do something like enclose the water in there. I think I might take a crack at this one myself sometime. He's got different heights in the wall, little quirky dimensions, so that's cool. All right, I showed a stadium. Dan, I hope you liked the changes that we made. I know you're on your phone. It's not easy for you to chat right now. Everybody, thanks for stopping by. And the Minneapolis one. What about the Minneapolis one? Oh, the ones of mine stadiums. Okay. Hey, if you really want to take a crack at it, fix the anomalies in my Beaver Stadium. Or maybe I'll do that stream. I can do that one. My Minneapolis stadium that I made. I mean, I can PA Jock. We can touch up a little bit of that on Friday. Mark's going to be over for dinner on Friday. We're going to get on and officially start the league. I'd love to go through some of the stadiums that you guys created when he's here. And we also might maybe play a game or two, play our first games. I think that could be fun to kind of bounce off each other. All right, Sewell, definitely see you Friday. Let me know about Aloha Stadium when you have it done. I'll definitely showcase that. So, yeah, PA, Jock, I can definitely... Thank you so much. I'm glad that you do. I have so much fun doing this. It's just amazing to me that something I enjoy so much, because I've always been the oddball out. You know, growing up, my town's not a baseball town. It's a freaking soccer town. Our team won states in 96 or 97. Our team was a really good soccer team. We were also a very good track and field team. But, the old school move. Like, when I was in high school, I was watching the Dick Van Dyke Show on Nick at Night. I wasn't watching, like, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and all that shit that was on. So I've always been the odd man out. I was obsessed with Michael Jackson as a kid and stuff like that. So, I don't drink. I'm not a big drinker, so I wasn't, like, going to, parties they always had them in the apple orchards. They always have drinking parties, and so I didn't go to a lot of that stuff. So to be able to get on here and talk about something that I love and actually have 500, almost 6 now, that are just as into it as I am, it's unbelievable to me. So I'm so glad that you guys like it. It means so much to me to get on here. And the Ricky Davis thing, I mean, talking about that's something that we started when we were kids. I was like 5-6 years old when the original baseball game came out, and Mark and Anthony said, hey, make up your own team. You can make up guys too. I made up a team, and 40 years later, I'm still using these guys. So the fact that you guys are interested in that just blows my mind, and I love it. And it might be its own channel here very soon. We're gonna see what goes. Wait till you see my latest submission to you, Phil. Churchill Downs. Okay, I'm all about it. I can't, Murph. You continue to surprise me, man. Every time I'm saying, okay, what different can he possibly do now? And mind is still blown. So I'm rambling. Don't forget, guys, please check out the store. I'm looking to upgrade some things, so this would be a great way to help support the channel in another way. I know you guys already do a lot for me in creating stadiums for the Ricky Davis League, and you give me good content with all the stadiums that you guys create, and I barely got the stadium thing on there. I can never get it right on this camera, but maybe if I zoom back a little bit, how about that? There's shirts, hoodies, mugs, cups, all kinds of different stuff. And keep checking out the channel. A lot of new stuff's coming up, especially with the RDL starting on Friday. Don't forget to check out Respect the Pick. Deadpool's coming out. Star Wars Outlaws is coming out. We're going to break down and probably rip apart Star Wars Acolyte. We've never had a Star Wars episode, so that's coming too. And obviously go over to Stadium Center, check out Sewell's, check out Gaming Kitchen. He's still streaming. He's still working on that Baltimore Orioles park. Check out Harrison Sawyer. Those are my main guys when it comes to fellow MLB The Show and Stadium creator content creators. So those are my main guys. Go check those guys out. I know someone told me, I think it was Low Gear Man, told me that Harrison's going to get back in the game now that he's moved over to, I think, Colorado, I heard it was. So definitely check out Harrison Sawyer. And I'm going to stop rambling and get out of here. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on Friday.